Hello, my podcast buddies. Thank you for tuning in to 15 Minutes with Fuzz. I am your host, Fuzz Martin, and on this show, we talk about positive things happening in and around Washington County, Wisconsin. One of my favorite parts of the show is when I get to learn new things from new people, and you get to come along for the ride with me and learn as well. And this week, we're going to do that, okay? I am joined this week by members of Just Us of Washington County. Just Us is an organization promoting inclusion for BIPOC and LGBTQ communities in our county. And this week, Barseana Simon and Hadwat Sankari discuss the organization, how it got its start, why it's needed, and how you can get involved. And with that, here are 15 minutes on Just Us of Washington County with Barseana Simon and Hadwat Sankari on 15 Minutes with Fuzz. Barseana and Hadwat, thank you for joining me today. I heard about Just Us Washington County from Noel Brown at Casa Guadalupe, and I'm very excited to speak with you both today, so thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start at a high level, first of all. So what is the mission behind Just Us Washington County?
So our mission at Just Us of Washington County, we're a 501c3 organization, and we provide support and guidance to BIPOC populations as well as LGBTQ plus individuals and families. So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to seek to help navigate and supply guidance for everyday experiences and challenges faced within Washington County. We offer support and access to resources that directly impact the well-being of others.
How did the organization get its start? So, are there other Just Us organizations throughout the country, or is this local just here to Washington County? How'd you guys get started?
There are not any other Just Us organizations that we are aware of.
Okay.
However, both myself and Hadwat, we have many interactions with different students, different parents, and people of the community. And through these conversations, it was discussed how we can help others because there are many challenges that individuals face within the area.
Who else is involved here with Just Us of Washington County?
We have another board member,
okay,
as well as we have a few volunteers who help us on different projects,
okay,
and things of that nature.
Barseana, you moved to Washington County just over 10 years ago, right?
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you and your family have seen for people of color moving into a county that's generally not known for its diversity?
Here in Washington County, a lot of people know, and it's not just for people of color or the LGBTQ population, but there's a lack of transportation. So transportation is reliable transportation is very hard to get, as well as adequate childcare and suitable jobs. I often hear that people are able to, get jobs and obtain jobs. However, sometimes when they're working, there may be their coworkers playing inappropriate music, or they're listening to some political station that's clearly biased towards them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they don't complain because they feel like nothing will be done because they did so in the past and nothing happened. Mm-hmm. So it just continuously happens. So even though people are able to get jobs here, sometimes the job is more stressful than not having a job at all.
Sure. How do you feel that we can make a change to make that better? Is it through education, conversations like this? How does that work?
Education, conversations, yes. But a lot of times it's good to just talk to people without having these preconceived notions, just to get to know each other on an individual basis and not group people according to what you see on television or according to your biases. So a lot of times it just takes communication to talk with others and try to use empathy and understand what they're saying.
Treat people like people.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think also acknowledging differences. Like, it's okay that there's differences. Like, it's okay to be curious about differences and to be accepting of differences. So I think sometimes it's like avoided completely, like almost like we're colorblind or we don't see these things. But I think that actually can do more damage as well when we're talking about how do we be more inclusive.
Certainly.
So I just wanted to bring up, there's so many different experiences that I have had, that Hadwat has had, and other people have had. But I remember when I first moved in the area, I was at a government office, like a public government office, and there was no picture of anyone of color. Mm-hmm. However, they had a cartoon hanging up of Michael Vick, and it was a very demeaning cartoon. And it was just crazy. Like, this is the picture you choose to, even though it's just a cartoon, this is what you choose to display, like, at this government office. So that was very discouraging. I
bet. And I think that people need to hear that more in order to understand that that means something to somebody that walks in a negative way.
Right.
And to, I guess, have more empathy for everybody.
Yes.
So are there good things that you see here in Washington County? What are some of the things that you enjoy most about the county?
I really appreciate just the outdoors. There's so many trails, so many activities, so many things that are family friendly, which I think is what really drew us to Washington County.
Yeah, so there's certain things that I really enjoy living here. I've been here for, I think, 11 years, going on 12. However, like the family-friendly activities, such as the Dirty Ninja Run and Halloween is my favorite because everyone is just out and walking around and talking and having a good time. And yeah, so I do really like those, as well as I was part of a community garden some years ago by Gil. A lady named Mary ran it. And everyone was just so extremely helpful. So it was just everyone with one purpose in mind, growing a garden. And yeah, so everyone helped, and I learned a lot from that. So there are some good things and good people in Washington County.
We all want to see more of those good things and help bring up generations of more good people and that are doing good things. Barseana, you've dedicated yourself to working with nonprofit communities and disabled populations. You're also actively involved with West Bend High School as an advisor for the Multicultural Club. So what led you to that, and tell us about how that works?
Ever since I was in third grade, I always went to school with people who do not look like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very difficult. And my mother had her reasons for putting me in there. She felt that it was a better education that I would get, which is probably true. I probably did receive a better education. However, like some of the things that was said to me and some of the feelings that I was experiencing were horrible. So being that I know what it's like to, be in a room full of people, of course we have similarities, but there are so many different similarities we do not have. Mm-hmm. So knowing how that feels and knowing the challenges that people or students face, I wanted to volunteer my time at the high school to give back to those kids and kind of be a listening ear for those who had any problems or concerns.
And I think that's very important here in every community, but especially I grew up in not here in West Bend, but in a similar, town in southwest Waukesha County. Okay. And so that, it wasn't until college that I had professors, who were people of color, and I didn't have a teacher that didn't look like me until I was in college. So you don't experience that as you grew up in a community and you don't get that diversity and that. And I think that it is important to expose people to all communities so that we can be better together. So, but I think that's great that you're part of that multicultural club. And I think that it's very needed in these kind of communities that there are those kind of clubs and that there are those opportunities for our younger generations to be more worldly, I guess.
Worldly. There's a former member of the Multicultural Club who's now in college, and the other day she had said on Facebook that she was so happy to get like a professor. I think she had 2 or 3 that look like her. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
Absolutely. Can I just add also, I before I even knew Barseana, I think when I first heard about the Multicultural Club, they were putting on a Black History Month celebration, which was amazing to see something like that in Washington County. I was so happy to see just like we're celebrating, there's awareness, there's representation. So bringing things like that, I think, has really enriched the community.
I agree. I kind of touched on this before, but what do you feel are some more ways that we can become inclusive and more welcoming of BIPOC and LGBTQ plus communities here?
Get yourself in uncomfortable situations. Yes. Yeah. So just do something outside the box, whether it's going to an event, reading a book, making a new friend. It doesn't even have to be a friend, even an associate. Just talk to people and just, try to get out your box a little.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also just seeing more representation, just like we were talking about, like having people, whether it's businesses, people in local government, teachers, administration, like just being able to see people of color and people from the LGBTQ community holding those positions, seeing yourself reflected in those positions, I think that helps to break down stereotypes. And that also helps a person of color, a person who identifies from an LGBTQ group to say like, oh, I can see myself, right? I can see myself in these positions.
Right.
Even like when I see a mother doing something, I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I not doing that?
I ask myself all that time why I'm not doing it. For those who are looking to support Just Us of Washington County, for those who are looking for support from Just Us of Washington County, how can they get involved and get in touch with you guys?
They can either email us, find us on Facebook, or find us on Instagram.
Okay.
We are looking for a volunteer to update our social media accounts. However, we both have access to them, or we can check messages and things of that nature. However, we do need to do a better job of just putting information out there. It's hard for old people like us.
I know. I kind of work in social media here at Epic, and it's hard for me to do it on my own. So how can people support your organization? What kind of things do you guys need, and what are you guys looking to do here in the future?
Donating time, I think, is huge. So anyone who's willing to volunteer, that's always welcomed. Of course, monetary donations just to help out people in the community who are seeking out resources, we always appreciate. And not even monetary, but if you have things to donate, whether it's clothing or things that you feel like people could utilize, we appreciate those things as well.
Even a skill like, hey, I can create websites.
Mm-hmm.
Can I help you out with that?
Sure.
Or, anything and everything at the same time. Even if they want to donate some time but don't know exactly what they're good at, there's all sorts of ways that we can use people to help.
Do you guys have any events coming up or anything? Or
on Saturday, May 13th of next year, we have a Shop Us event coming up. This will be our second one. So it's a vendor fair where people from Southeast Wisconsin are selling their goods and services at Ozaki County Fair Park.
Okay.
No, that's
Fair
a school.
Grounds, maybe?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Fair
Ozaki
Park
County
is a school. So Ozaki County Fairgrounds. Yes.
All right. Very good. Very good.
So we do need volunteers for that and
Okay.
things of that nature.
All right. Sounds good. I'll be sure to share that information when we get closer to that, and when you're looking for that. Just tag me when you're on social media and or send me a message, and I'll retweet it. People can find out more information. Speaking of that, people can find more information about Just Us of Washington County on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yes.
All right, very good.
Or just talking to us. Like if you see us, just pull us to the side and say, hey, I need to know more.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's various ways to contact us.
I really appreciate you guys coming in, and I know these conversations, I love these conversations. I think they're great to have, and I think we all need to have more of them. And I really appreciate you guys coming on the show with me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
You're
Absolutely.
Also, Amazon Smiles. Like,
sure.
if anyone would like to do like a donation without really donating, if anyone knows about Amazon Smiles, you can just put Just Us of Washington County in there, and a percentage of your purchase will go directly to us without paying any additional fees.
Yeah, that's a great program. So you go to smile.amazon.com, and then it'll ask you to select your charity, and then select Just Us of Washington County. It was great meeting you both. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for all you're doing to help promote increasing our inclusiveness and feelings of welcomeness here in Washington County for BIPOC and LGBTQ plus communities. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Barseana Simon and Hadwat Sankari of Just Us of Washington County for joining me on this week's show. Again, you can find their organization on Facebook and on Instagram. I've put links to their organization on my website, 15withfuzz.com, and also in the show notes here in your podcast player. If you go to description, you should be able to find it there, and just click there if you want to learn more. If you have an idea for a guest for 15 Minutes with Fuzz, please email me, 15withfuzz@gmail.com. That's 15 spelled out, withfuzz@gmail.com, or go to fuzz.cc/guest. New episodes come out every Monday. I thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you again next time right here on 15 Minutes with Fuzz.